The Galactic Council had seen many species rise and fall across the eons, but none quite like humanity. Ambassador Zethkri of the Vorthan Collective leaned forward in his crystalline seat, mandibles clicking in what his species considered amusement as he observed the human representative. Dr. Elena Vasquez sat motionless at the defendant's podium, her dark eyes fixed on the holographic display showing the remnants of what had once been the Kepler 442 system, where a red dwarf star had burned for billions of years. Now only a rapidly expanding nebula of exotic particles remained. "The charges are clear," announced High Arbiter Kolmesh, her tentacles writhing with barely contained disgust. Destruction of a stellar body, violation of 17 interstellar preservation treaties, reckless endangerment of 3 inhabited systems. Her massive eye stalk swiveled toward Elena, and all of this for what the defendant calls love. A ripple of what could only be described as cosmic laughter echoed through the chamber. Representatives from a dozen species, the insectoid Cathera, the energy-based Luminari, the ancient stone beings called the Eternal, all shared in the absurdity. Love, such a primitive biological imperative. Counselor Vextar of the Silicon Mines spoke first, his synthetic voice dripping with calculated disdain. "In our extensive databases spanning 47 million years of galactic history, no species has ever committed such destruction for emotional reasons. The human concept of love is clearly a dangerous evolutionary flaw." Elena finally moved, a slight smile touching her lips. "May I tell you about David Chen?" "The defendant will address the charges, not indulge in biological nostalgia," Kolmesh snapped. "The charges are all related to David Chen," Elena replied calmly. 3 years ago, he was part of an archaeological expedition on Kepler 442b. The research station was studying the ruins of the architects, your predecessors who vanished eons ago. Several council members shifted uncomfortably. The architects were a taboo subject, the mysterious race that had built the first gates and established the foundations of galactic civilization before disappearing without trace. "David and I were partners in every sense," Elena continued. "Scientific colleagues, best friends, and yes, we loved each other. When the quantum resonance cascade began consuming the research team from the inside out, David was among those infected." Ambassador Zethkri's translator crackled. "Quantum resonance cascade, a known hazard of architect ruins. Regrettable, but hardly grounds for—" "He didn't just die," Elena interrupted, her voice hardening. "The cascade trapped their consciousness in quantum superposition. They were aware, screaming, existing in infinite states of agony across multiple dimensions. Your medical science declared them unsavable. Acceptable losses in the pursuit of knowledge, I believe the phrase was." The chamber fell silent. Even the luminary dimmed their radiance. "So I studied," Elena said simply. "I learned everything I could about quantum mechanics, stellar engineering, exotic matter manipulation. And I discovered something your databases missed. The architects didn't disappear. They ascended. They found a way to break the barriers between dimensions using controlled stellar collapse." High Arbiter Kolmesh's tentacles writhed nervously. "That's theoretical speculation. I spent 2 years converting Kepler 442 into the largest quantum computer in known space," Elena continued. "I embedded crystalline matrices throughout its core, aligned its magnetic field with dimensional weak points, and synchronized its nuclear fusion to quantum frequencies. When I triggered the collapse, the star didn't just explode, it burned through 17 dimensions simultaneously." The council chamber's atmosphere grew thick with tension. Elena's smile widened. David and the other researchers weren't just freed from their quantum prison. The stellar collapse created a dimensional gateway that allowed them to choose their own existence. Some chose to return to their original bodies, healed and whole. Others chose to explore the infinite possibilities of multidimensional space. David? Her voice softened. David chose to become something greater while remaining something human. She gestured, and a figure materialized beside her, translucent, composed of starlight and quantum probability, but unmistakably human in form. "Hello, Council." David's voice echoed across multiple frequencies. "Thank you for giving Elena the chance to explain." Pandemonium erupted. The Cathera screeched in their harmonic language. The Eternal ground their stone limbs together, and the luminary flared to blinding intensity. "Impossible." Counselor Vextar's mechanical voice cracked. Consciousness cannot survive dimensional translation. Human consciousness can, David replied gently, because it's not just electrical impulses and chemical reactions. It's love, memory, dreams, hope, quantum entanglements that exist beyond physical space. Elena didn't destroy a star. She built a bridge. Elena stood, facing the council with quiet pride. You mock human love because you don't understand it. You see it as weakness, as primitive attachment. But love isn't just emotion. It's the force that drives us to achieve the impossible. It makes us study until our eyes bleed, work until our bodies break, and yes, burn stars until the universe itself bends to our will. But the cost, Kolmesh began. The cost? Elena's voice rose. Kepler 442 was a dying star, toxic and unstable. The inhabited systems were already evacuating. I turned a cosmic disaster into a resurrection engine, and all you can see is the destruction. She looked around the chamber, meeting the alien gazes without flinching. This is what humans do. We don't accept impossible. We don't accept unsavable. When something we love is threatened, we don't calculate acceptable losses. We recalculate the laws of physics. The chamber fell silent except for the humming of translation matrices. Finally, High Arbiter Kolmesh spoke. The charges are dismissed, she said quietly. But Elena Vasquez of Earth, we must ask, what are your people planning to do with this technology? Elena's smile returned, soft but unmistakably dangerous. We're going to find the architects, and when we do, we're going to ask them if they'd like to come home. As the council session ended in stunned silence, David's quantum form flickered closer to Elena. Across 17 dimensions, their hands touched, and for one impossible moment, love burned brighter than any star. In the vast database of the Galactic Council, a new entry appeared. Note: human emotional capacity exceeds all previous calculations. Recommend immediate revision of threat assessment protocols. Classification: handle with extreme caution. Addendum: never under any circumstances threaten what humans love.